Hey everyone, Mitch coming in from the Commander's Core Studio. Welcome to the show. So on this episode, we're going to be talking about Mithril Coat. And my goodness, do I think this card is going to have a massive impact in Commander. There are comparable cards to this one, and this one might just take the cake from them. That's not a phrase. You know what I mean. This is going to be a very impactful card that can outshine other cards that already make a massive impact. There, that sounds better. Anyways, a legendary artifact equipment that costs 3 and has flash and indestructible. When it enters the battlefield, attach it to target creature you control. Equipped creature has indestructible, equip 3. There's a lot going on here, but not really all that much either. This is very simple. This can well just be a save your commander spell. This can be a 3 mana. Your commander survives that board wipe out of nowhere. And yeah, this is an equipment. This is going to stick around on the battlefield, and this is going to protect your commander again. This has indestructible, so it is hard to deal with. This also gives indestructible, making your commander or whatever other legendary creature you want hard to deal with. Again, this is an auto-attach equipment at flash speed. That is huge. Again, this is basically just a save spell. This is basically just, hey, protect my commander. Protect whatever you need, essentially, for just 3 mana. Again, flash speed. Now, that equip cost of 3 is higher than some other comparable things, but still, being able to equip right away is huge. It might just protect your commander for the rest of the game without your commander being dealt with. If your commander is dealt with and you can get it back out, 3 mana isn't the end of the world to reattach. And yeah, this is something that you can, move around if you absolutely need to. But still, the potential for this being a spell that you can just keep up in your hand as an equipment that you can just say, you know what, I'll wait for the opportune moment, or I'm just going to wait until it's almost my turn before the end step before my turn to utilize this so I can utilize my mana in the way that I want. Yeah, that is pretty fantastic. And with that auto equip again, saving you mana on that equip cost right away, that is huge. Now keep in mind, this is legendary. So yeah, there's no, copying this shenanigans. You can't utilize, oh goodness, whatever that one, single mana equipment that, can become a copy of another equipment. You can't do that unless you're actually making it a copy of your opponent's, which is great. But still, you can only have one of these unless you've got, mere gallery shenanigans going on. That being said, by it being legendary, there are certain commanders that are really going to want to utilize this as well. And I may or may not have forgotten to add them to the list, but I'll see if I can maybe, pause my recording at some point and add those. But now let's go on in this episode and talk about, well, some other comparable cards to this one, where this one kind of can stack up in comparison to them, and then also talk about some commanders that might want to consider this card. So first up, yeah, obviously this card is reminiscent of Dark Steel Plate, a card that I don't believe in my career has ever been budget friendly for Commander for me, and yeah, probably would never be, even though it keeps getting reprinted every now and then. Yeah, indestructible, 3 mana artifact equipment that gives equipped creature indestructible, and it has equip 2. Again, it is incredibly similar. It's like they copy pasted the file for this one, made some small adjustments, and there you go. There is our new card. Now, which is better? I think it's pretty obviously to me that this new one is strictly better than Dark Steel Plate, and that is kind of hard to say because, again, this is such a good card. It sees a good amount of play in a good amount of decks out there. Again, its equip cost is 1 less, and yes, that does make a difference. But if you are considering how much it costs to basically equip the very first time, you are getting a 3 mana discount that first time, right? Because you are automatically equipping, again, at flash speed to a legendary creature. And usually you're putting it on a legendary creature. Usually you're putting these on your commanders. So there you go. This does save you mana right up front. Again, it can surprise your opponents, being a way to basically save one of your creatures, make them waste a removal spell, or waste a wrath, essentially trying to get rid of your commander. So this is a fantastic effect to just say, yeah, it can surprise opponents out of nowhere, whereas Dark Steel Plate is pretty obvious what's happening when it's happening. So, and your opponents, of course, can, respond to the equip, essentially, and try to take it out before then. So, yeah, overall, both, again, very, very, very similar. This is a good amount of play. I can imagine that this brand new card is going to be seeing even more play than this one, again, because of that auto-equip and because of that flash speed. Next up, Hammer of Nazan. Now, this is an interesting one as well. This one does have some similarities to it as well. A 4 mana legendary artifact equipment, so again, legendary as well. Equip 4, so the cost and the equip cost are both more than our new Mithril card. Whenever it or other equipment enters the battlefield under your control, you may attach that equipment to target creature you control. Equipped creature gets +2/+0 and has indestructible. So, this one also auto-attaches, right? But this one also makes so that your other equipment auto-attach too. And it also gives +2/+0. So this does a ton. This does an absolute ton for you. It does cost 1 more though. That being said, this one's kind of more specific to being good in equipment tribal decks. Not equipment tribal, I should say, but equipment decks. And with that, if you don't have a lot of other equipment, if you're just utilizing, kind of like that Darksteel Plate, type card again with this new Mithril card to just say, I just really care about protecting my commander and I only have maybe like 2 or 3 equipment in the deck. Yeah, this new one's going to be better because it costs less to get out. It doesn't pump, but usually that doesn't matter all that much. Usually just care about that protection, and it costs less to reattach when you need to reattach it. So overall, I think this new one is going to see more play. Not sure about the price tag. Maybe it'll be up there with Hammer of Dazan though, but we shall see. I mean, both definitely have their spots in decks. Both are definitely going to fit in equipment tribal decks as well, but yeah, I think it's going to have a massive impact. Next up, when it comes to other, just protection equipment, Lightning Greaves definitely comes to mind as well. An equipment for 2 mana. Equipped creature has Haste and Shroud, equip 0. Now this one is free to equip, which is huge. Haste is nice, and Shroud is great. I mean, Shroud is bad that you can't target your own creature, but usually if you're utilizing this, you don't care about that. So yeah, being able to protect your commander in a different way, obviously. Indestructible protects more from Wraths for the most part. And Shroud is going to protect from any kind of target removal. So there you go. They do have some differences, but again, it's somewhat comparable in that, hey, it is along the same lines of let's protect our commander. And this new one, again, can do so at instant speed, flash speed, being able to just out of nowhere be like, nope, this Wrath is not taking my commander out. My commander is fine. Whereas Lightning Greaves, again, you still need to actually equip it. It does not equip automatically, so you need to actually say, yeah, I will move this over there, and I will try to do that. Versus, yeah, you can take the opportune moment with Mithril to actually do that. And of course, yeah, Swiftfoot Boots, very similar to this as well. This one is slightly better than Lightning Greaves in what it does, but it does cost 1 to equip, so it's slightly worse than that. Hexproof and Haste again, so you can actually target your own commander with this or whatever creature that this is on. That being said, again, overall the actual cost for the initial equip is the exact same as our new Mithril card. Protects in a different way. I'm not saying that this new card is going to replace Swiftfoot Boots or Lightning Greaves. I'm definitely not saying that. Those are staples for a reason. And those, I mean, again, protect from target removal. This is slightly different, but yeah, I can definitely see this new Mithril card seeing a ton of play, and there's a lot of commanders out there that are going to be chomping at the bit to get this new card. And unfortunately for me, I don't think it's going to be a budget-friendly card anytime soon or ever, so we shall see. Regardless, let's move on to those commanders. Let's talk about what commanders might want to be considering this card. And one of the first ones that came to my mind, and one of the first commanders I actually ever built, and one of the first ones on this channel, is Shram Senior Edificer, a 2/2 Dwarf Advisor for 1 and a white. Whenever you cast an aura, equipment, or vehicle spell, draw a card. Obviously, the equipment's what matters here. The build that I had around Shram was aura tribal, actually. This one's going to be, more so if you're going in equipment, although it can probably apply to any of them, essentially. Just a great card for a Shram deck. Hey, instant speed, out of nowhere, attach it to Shram, protect Shram, and sure, draw a card, cantrip as well. Why not? Yeah, that can be pretty fantastic. Next up, speaking of out of nowhere, Galia, Kindler of Hope, a 4/4 Vigilant Elf Knight. Look at the top card of your library anytime. You may cast or an equipment spell at the top of your library. When you cast an equipment spell this way, it gains some equipment enters the battlefield attached to our creature you control. Now, this commander gets around, obviously, equip cost as well, at least for the initial equip. And kind of like all your equipment essentially gain what Mithril already has, although Mithril obviously is limited to just legendary. No, it wouldn't be. That being said, you're probably just going to equip it to Galia. Anyways, that being said, hey, being able to, off the top of your library, flash in this new Mithril card, yeah, that is huge. Your opponents might not see it coming. Again, if you don't have a hand, they might think, oh, goodness, yeah, there's nothing they can do to stop me. Ha 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 ha. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, flash this in. Protect my commander. Sorry about that. Speaking of kind of, surprising things, Hans Eriksson, another commander that wants to be aggressive. Again, the other ones we talked about can be very Voltron-y. This one, more so, hey, let's bring out other big things. A 1/4 Human Scout. Whenever it attacks you with the top card of your library, it's a creature card found on the battlefield, tapped and attacking defending player or planeswalker they control. Otherwise, with that card in your hand, when you put a creature card on the battlefield this way, it fights Hans Eriksson. yeah, it doesn't take much to take out Hans Eriksson, only with 4 toughness. You're already swinging at a player, and on top of that, the creature that is coming into play is going to be punching Hans Eriksson in the face, essentially. So you need to protect Hans, and what better way than an indestructible equipment that can give Hans indestructible, so it doesn't matter who you're attacking, essentially. It's going to be fine. I mean, as long as they don't have, like, you know, Infect or whatnot. But as long as you're attacking a reasonable player that is not using Infect, right? Just kidding. Infect's fine. That, yeah, you're going to be fine with Hans Eriksson, and the creature coming to play is not going to be able to take it out either. So yeah, any of these kinds of ways to give indestructible flash speed can be great as well to ensure that, you know, you can just do this when you need to. Do it exactly when you need to. Moving on. A gross commander that was one of my first builds as well, but one that I did an entire episode on why I don't play Joyra anymore. Joyra Weatherlight Captain, 3/3 Human Artificer. Whenever you cast a historic spell, draw a card. Artifacts, legendaries, sagas are historic, and yeah, you're gonna be building artifacts around Joyra because they are broken. Artifact Storm is definitely a disgustingly awesome thing. Very disgusting though. But yeah, being able to have a 3-mana artifact that, again, like Shram, cantrips when you cast it, automatically attaches to Joyra and protects your Storm engine. Yeah, that can be huge. So Joyra decks out there that, well, maybe aren't as budget friendly as mine, yeah, definitely consider this new card. Next up, a newer commander from Aftermath. We've got Karn Legacy Reformed. Karn with a golden arm for some reason. Star Golem for 5. Power titles each equal to the greatest mana value among artifacts you control. Beginning of your upkeep, add colors for each artifact you control. This mana can't be spent to cast non-artifact spells. Till the turn, you don't lose mana steps phase end. You basically, you're going to be playing a ton of artifacts. You're going to get a lot of them out. Karn can end up hitting for a ton. I mean, just think if you've got like a Metalwork Colossus in play, Karn is going to be hitting for 11. Yeah, that's very obviously easy to do. There's ways to tutor for artifacts. There's ways to just cast that for free, obviously. And of course, just get a ton of mana. And there you go. You basically can get your brand new Mithril vest out, essentially, for free with this commander at flash speed. Again, you don't lose this until steps phase end. So basically, I mean, end of the turn, you can just flash it if you really need to, or just flash it up in an opportune time. So yeah, there's a lot of crazy things that you can do with a Karn deck and a ton of artifacts in play, including this new awesome one. Moving on to Nahiri, Forged in Fury, a 5/4 core artificer with affinity for equipment. That says, whenever a equipped creature you control attacks, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. You may cast equipment spells this way without paying the mana cost. Yeah, you're going to be attacking with a bunch of equipped creatures. It's great. You can just swing away at players. Have fun with that. There's certain creatures that come into play attached with equipment, which is great now too. There's a lot of those. And obviously, when you just get one off the top of your library and you're like, oh, cool, I can cast this for free. Great. Let's just attach this at instant speed to, well, probably Nahiri, or maybe another legendary creature that you want to protect. Yeah, another great piece of equipment to add to an already just powerful commander that can utilize equipment in a very fantastic way. Speaking of which, Sir Gwyn, Hero of Ashvale. Yes, please. The only downside to this brand new equipment compared to Darksteel Plate, other than it just, being specifically a legendary artifact, which can sometimes be a downside, is that its equip cost is 1 more. Sir Gwyn says, I don't care about that. Equip costs mean nothing to me. 5/5 Humanite Vigilance Menace. Whenever equipped creature you control attacks, you draw a card, lose 1 life. Equipment you control have equipped Knight 0. So, yeah, Sir Gwyn is a Knight. This is probably a Voltron deck, or at least a Knight Tribal deck. Attach your Mithril vest to whatever you want for free. For free. Again, the first attach is free to Sir Gwyn, but after that, just move it around whatever you want to do. Again, if it's Knight Tribal, great. If you just want to reattach Sir Gwyn if it's dealt with, great. You can do that. And, yeah, finally in this category, I'm talking about Yargle and Multani. A hilarious commander that is an 18/6 for 6 mana and does nothing else. It's a great vanilla commander, like the original Yargle, but basically twice as big. It's absolutely hilarious, can hit incredibly hard, nearly a one-shot KO on any player. And of course, this is going to be the focus of the deck. You want to have this commander just be this powerhouse of a commander that can just one-shot any player, essentially. So, making it indestructible is a massive thing for 3 mana. Yeah, you're going to want to do that. Again, 6 toughness is a decent amount, but not enough to protect it in combat, if you're going to be just being very aggressive and swinging at players again and again and again. Finally, yeah, I may have paused the episode and stopped recording, and then, kept going. So here we go. To say Weatherlight Captain, I added some legendary commanders because, yes, I'm legendary commanders. Commanders that have legendary decks built around them, because this can be a fantastic card for those decks. Plus, +1 for each color among the legendary permanents you control. Paying Wooburg, search life for any legendary permanent card. Commander may cost less than today's power. Put on the battlefield, then shuffle. All you need is Sisay to have 2 more power, 4 power total to be able to pay 5 mana to instant speed. Go get an equipment that now comes into play and attaches to any of your legendaries, including Sisay. So again, it's a 5 mana, let's save something kind of approach, which can be fantastic. A great way to utilize a commander like this. And again, just protecting Sisay, which can be a great engine for you, can be huge. So yeah, it being legendary again can be a downside for certain things, but a massive upside for other things, like a commander like this. And then finally, Joda the Unifier. You knew I was going to bring this up if I'm talking about legendary commanders. Legendary commanders, I did it again. Commanders that have legendary decks built around them. A 5/5 human wizard for Wooburg. Legendary creature you control, get +X, where X is the number of legendary creatures you control. You're going to have a lot of those. Whenever you cast a legendary spell from your hand, exile card seed, top your library to exile legendary non-land card mana value with lesser mana value. May cast a card with paying its mana cost, but the rest of my library in a random order. Hey, flash speed, let's just, get this on Joda. Cool, why not? Or obviously, just hit it off the top of the library when you cast something else, or hit something smaller after you cast it. There's a lot of exciting things that you can do with a Joda the Unifier deck, and this brand new artifact is massive. So yeah, overall, Mithril Coat, I think I said Mithril Vest earlier, my bad. Anyways, Mithril Coat is a fantastic new equipment, one that is absolutely massive. I think it's going to make a big impact. Again, you're going to have to be pretty aware of this card, because again, Darksteel Plate, you knew when it was coming because the player would play it, and then they'd attach it. This one more so is like, oh, they got 3 mana up. What in the world could they have? They just, if they're playing an equipment deck, if they're playing a Voltron deck, if they're playing a Legendary Tribal deck now, 3 mana could mean, hey, they're instant speed saving their commander from whatever removal or whatever wrath you have. This can be absolutely massive. This can be huge. Again, Darksteel Plate already sees a good amount of play. It's already a great card. Now they're like, let's just take that to another level. So there you go. There's Mithril Coat. But yeah, this is a really exciting card. Let me know what you think about it. And of course, yeah, stay tuned for even more quick takes and spoilers coming up. And with that, this episode is coming to a close. So let me know what your thoughts are on it in the comments below. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.